Yo, what up? Welcome back. It's been a while since we did an informative type video, but today is no normal video. If you notice, my camera angle is lower, and that is because we have a whiteboard, and we're using a whiteboard today to explain a training concept or training method that is used in all other different parts of life, and we're gonna apply it to TFT to help you guys in your TFT ranked grind, and I truly believe this will help. This is actually the system that I use, but I didn't actually understand that I was using this system until I learned it very recently. But this is actually the system that I use in order to learn and grow and get better at TFT. So let's get right into it. Okay, today we are talking about the Shamrock method, or the Shamrock training method. If you guys are familiar who Frank Shamrock is, professional MMA fighter. I believe he's retired. He's a coach and a motivational speaker now. But he has a system called plus, minus, and equal that he uses to train fighters, and that he used on himself whenever he was training to become one of the greatest in the world. I think he held 4 titles. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. I've just been learning a lot about his life recently, and I've been reading a bunch of books on ego. And so the main purpose of this system is to diffuse ego, which is one of the biggest things that holds anyone back in pretty much anything to do in your life. Not to say that you can't have ego and succeed, or everyone has ego, but have a huge ego and succeed. But the idea is your ego can prevent a lot of things in life, and especially in TFT. In TFT, that honestly, I think is the biggest thing that holds people back from learning and growing is their ego. So let's talk about the system. The system is plus, minus, and equal. I'll show you over here. Plus, minus, and equal. So the idea is that there's someone who is better than you, someone who is worse than you, and someone who is equal to you. And we use this to do a bunch of things. So let's write down what those things are. All right, here we are. So what this is designed to do is, and these all work together, and we're gonna dive deep on each of them. A plus translates to better, translates to diffusing ego and motivate you. So what you're trying to do is diffuse your ego, motivate, and these things don't really work unless you're doing all of them. The second is to think differently and to understand, and the last is to challenge you and prevent you from coasting. So let's talk about each of them in order. So what I mean by plus, better, you need to have something to look forward to, something to look up to, and it helps diffuse your ego. So you have designated that there are people that are better than you at what you do, or there are skill sets that you don't have that you're trying to acquire. Now, this is really easy to do in TFT. If you're a gold player, then you can look up to a challenger player. That's very easy to do. Or whatever rank you are, you can look up to a challenger player or the skill sets that challenger players have. So you don't have to look up to an individual person, but you have designated that there are people that are much better than you at the game, right? And so this helps keep your ego in check, and then it gives you something to aspire to. Now, the second one, I think this is some of the most important parts right here, is the minus stage. And this is a little bit harder to do for a lot of people because you have to find someone to mentor. But there are ways to do it in TFT. I can go on Discord, you can go on Reddit. You can find people who are, Discord, Reddit. Discord's really good for it. If you go into the Teamfight Tactics Discord, there's a lot of people discussing things in there. And you can go in there and contribute and look and actually listen to what other people have to say about stuff. So if you're at a level where you feel like you can contribute to, a lesser player, or maybe you have friends that you can talk to, this is really great. So the idea is to think differently and to expand your understanding by the minus step. If none of you have ever been in a coaching type position or a mentor position or an instructor position, then you might not know this, but you learn infinitely more from teaching somebody else than you do just learning yourself. You learn so much more. It's a common expression, the teacher learns more than the student, because whenever you are learning something by yourself, you have to think about something in the way that you understand. When you actually have to explain it to someone else, you have to think about how would they understand it. And sometimes that makes you think about a subject very differently. The other thing they can do is sometimes you go to teach somebody something and you realize that you don't actually understand concept enough to even explain it to someone else. And so what it can do is it can reveal a hole in your game or a hole in your knowledge that can show to you, this is something that I thought I knew really, 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 really well, but you actually don't know it quite as well as you thought you did. And the last one is an equal. I get so mixed up looking at the camera. But the last one is an equal. So this gives someone who will challenge you on your beliefs, or challenge you in your gameplay or whatever you're doing in life. It'll help challenge you and then also prevent you from coasting. So when you combine all these three things together, you are diffusing your ego, looking for something to aspire to, you're expanding your understanding by thinking differently, by having to explain concept things, and then the last thing is you have people who will challenge you and people who prevent coasting. Now, what does that have to do with TFT? And I will talk more about this in a second as well, but what does it have to do with TFT? How do you do it? So you just need to find these things in TFT. So as I said before, if you are a weak player, if you're a gold player, a diamond player, whatever, then you have infinite to look up to, right? Because you have all these challenger players. There's so much content out there. I make content. So many other people make content. So many other people stream, all that stuff. So you have so many people who are better than you that you can say they are better than me. And so it helps diffuse your ego, helps humble you. And then you can look at their skill sets and try to acquire those. You can identify things you're trying to acquire. So that can help motivate you as well. How do you find people to learn or how do you find people to teach? How do you find to do that? And I talked about that before, but this can be tough if you don't have, if you just have a friend who, let's say you're a gold player and you have a friend who's just starting, well, you can start to teach them things, right? No matter what level you are, there are people who are going to be worse than you unless you're iron, right? But I mean, if you're watching this video, I mean, maybe you're on, I don't know. But, you can get to a level where you can teach somebody pretty easily. You can get to gold and you can teach a brand new player, right? But you can also interact in Discord servers, Reddit, Twitter, that sort of thing. And, keep your own ego in check whenever you're doing that. Don't get lost in the sauce, but you can try to expand your understanding by trying to explain things to people who ask questions. Or if you have a friend, that's the easiest thing to do it. And then the last one is challenge. This one's really easy in TFT because you have people that are your level. And I get caught in the trap a lot when I play video games is I think I'm better than the level that I'm at. And a lot of people think that as well. And so I get caught in this trap a lot, and I don't appropriately respect the challenge of my opponents. And I will either coast or I will not play the game fundamentals perfectly because I think I can get away with not, because I am better. I'm actually almost as good as these people, and I just need one more step to get to their level. So I don't have to do, whatever you guys are doing. I'm not on your level. So it's really important that you do all these three things together, because if your ego is in the way, it's going to be so much more difficult for you to think differently. It's going to be so much more difficult for you to appropriately accept the challenge of your peers and prevent yourself from coasting. So diffusing the ego is the most important thing. And so how do I do this? So just for example, like I just said at the beginning of the video, I was already doing this. This was already something I was doing, and I was conscious of it, but I couldn't really put it into words. The way that I was doing it is I'll write it down here. So here we are. As I said, I use this system. This is not something I just pulled out of my ass, or I just watched a video, or I'm listening to an audiobook on ego right now. And this is where I found out about this. I didn't just listen to that and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make a video on it. I was already using this thing, and it was really cool to just see it actually put into a system that I'd never really seen before. So what I do is I look at high challenger players and players that I respect a lot, and players that I am trying to acquire their skill set is players like Ramblin', Robin, Setsuko, players like that. Socks to some degree, but a little bit less. I just don't watch them that much. But just in general, high challenger players. And then minus is you all. This is the easiest step for me is I when I stream, whenever I create content, I have friends who play TFT. I get to teach them. And this truly does expand my understanding, especially when I'm making videos and stuff like that. I have to really think about the stuff that I say and how someone who is not me is going to understand this, right? And so that's real easy for me to do. And then my equals are low challenger to mid challenger players. So those type of players, and those players give me a good challenge. I have a bunch of friends who are around that rank. And then also I can look up to, I can start to challenge myself a lot by whenever I can get against the people that I do look up to. So there are people that I play against that are better than me, and they can appropriately challenge me. But it's really important I keep my ego in check and to not think that I am actually on their level, because if I was on their level, I would be on their level. You know what I mean? So this is how I implement the system. and this is what I do. And I hope this is helpful to you guys. I'm really excited about making videos like this. Let me know if you guys like it. This is the outro to the video now. We're doing the whole outro now. But, you know, let me know if you guys like these types of videos. I think these are really cool. And I've talked about these concepts a lot, but, you know, I want to expand on doing them more right now because I'm just not really playing TFT. So trying to think of ways I can better help you guys get better. And I truly, truly, truly believe being good at a video game is 90% mindset. It's 90% mindset and work ethic, right? Very little of it has to do with like your natural ability, except for in like highly mechanical games, like, you know, that can apply a little bit to like FPS games, stuff like that. But truly, so much of the game is keeping your ego in check and having the willingness to learn. There's always outliers, of course, to this rule, but you know, this is what I truly believe, and I hope you guys can learn a lot. If you guys like this video, then please like the video. It helps me out a lot on YouTube. And comment below if you want to see more videos like this. This is just kind of what I'm going to be making until we are at set 7 PBE, which is in a few weeks, so not too much longer to wait. But yeah, please like the video and let me know if you guys like this video in the comments. And yeah, if you guys want more of me, I stream at twitch.tv/TrajanTFT, been on a hiatus, and then same at Twitter and TikTok, that sort of thing. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys. Hope you have a fantastic evening, night, morning, wherever you are. And wherever you are, I just hope you're doing well. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.